Folks, welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different. I am going to try to condense all of the questions I am getting asked right now through DMs and emails and things like that, and take all the most popular ones and put them in a video, because I'm sure if I'm getting asked these questions from this many people, a lot of others out there who maybe haven't reached out have similar questions in their mind. And we're going to kind of go from there. I'm going to give you my takes on it. I'll let you know kind of what I'm doing right now, how I'm handling the situations, and hopefully that helps a lot of you out there make better decisions for yourselves. That's all we're doing here. So first one I want to start out with is singles and slabs. Alex, do you invest in singles and slabs? And specifically right now, what do I do with my vintage slabs that have went to the moon, my XY Mega Evolutions, my Sun and Moon tag teams? Those are pretty much the three main areas that I'm getting asked about the most right now, is those three. And so I'll give you my take. I don't necessarily invest in slabs or singles. And the reason I say I don't invest is because I make plays on singles and slabs. But they're usually just for short term, anywhere from a few months up to maybe a couple years, whenever it takes the market to kind of flow in the way that I believe it should. And then when it does, I usually capture my margin and move the money somewhere else. Whereas with sealed product, I put it away for long term because I believe in the long term growth of it. Whereas, when everything goes on a big run, right? Let's say everything goes on a massive run, a box goes, up from, $200 to $400, it does 100% gains. And maybe some of the biggest hit singles in that set go from, $200 up to $600, a 200%, gain, they 2x. Usually when that runs over, the box is usually going to go stagnant, maybe trend down ever so slightly, where the single is usually going to crash. And that's why I am not usually the biggest fan of the singles market in terms of long term, because the intense ups and downs is just not something I'm looking to be involved with. But I like taking advantage of the ups. And so when things are down, when things are stagnant, if I believe in the card, I will make plays. I have this one sitting right here, literally. I have a few of these Mewtwo's I just picked up. I have more of them, but I love that Crown Zenith Mewtwo. I've been picking this up ever since it was around $200. And I think it's going to continue to go up from here. But other plays I have right now, I have a lot of alt arts that I picked up over the last few months when they, all kind of, I would say deflated for a brief second. Right now, I'm picking up early Scarlet Violet era special illustration rares that I believe are undervalued, usually in like the $100 up to maybe $150 range SIRs. And, a lot of these cards I won't own in like 2 years. A lot of these cards I will move out of when I believe I've got the gains I wanted and the market's moved in the way I think it should. And so for me, I do not like single cards that aren't graded. The reason is, and it's just a preference, you can like singles. I don't like dealing with condition. I don't like playing 20 questions with people asking me about the condition. Is it near mint minus, near mint plus? Is it gradable? Is it centered? Do you have other pictures? Is there whiting? Is there any hollow scratches, or, all the different things, right? I don't like to play the game. And so I'll let other people make the money on the raw singles. I stick with PSA 10s. Why do I stick with PSA? Am I shilling for PSA? No, I don't care if you make plays with CGC, Beckett, Tag. It really doesn't matter. The reason I use PSA is because it's the most liquid. It's what the most collectors out there right now in the market prefer. It's the easiest to buy. It's the easiest to sell. There's a majority of those out there. It's just the best way for me, right? And so I like to be in things that flow like water. That's why I stick with PSA 10s. So when I make plays, right, I like to look for cards that are kind of beat up, right? When they're buy low and then sell high. I mean, it's the oldest thing in the books, but that's what I look for. I like to look for, some of the best artwork cards of popular Pokemon that were once already much higher. I don't like to try to be like Mr. Master Speculator and try to find this diamond in the rough that no one knows about, then gets lucky. People do that. People do very well. I like to go with the tried and true, the cards that have already been there before, the ones that have already ran at some point and then came back down. I mean, this Pikachu card is a great example. When Surging Sparks really came down, Pikachu got crushed. This thing is already running back up in like 800-900s, and that card was down in like under $700. And so I look for things like that where it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to move in. It seems like it's overly negative right now. And so right now, if you've been holding a lot of these vintage cards, if you've been holding a lot of these mega evolutions, a lot of these tag teams, and you're reaching out to me, which a lot of you are, asking, Alex, what would you do? I tell you, well, when I move into plays early and I end up hitting it and I make exponential amount of gains, whether it be 100%, 100% plus, then those are usually times where I look to start taking profits. And so when you ask me, a lot of times on a lot of these tag team cards, these XY mega evolutions, a lot of these vintage cards, I tell you, if it were me, I would likely sell. That's just me. I would likely sell, and I would take that money and I would find new plays that are undervalued to put that money into, or I would park it in sealed product. That's just how I do things. It's how I've always done it. That's how I'm always going to do it. I don't like the volatility of singles or slabs, but I enjoy it when I am looking to make plays and take advantage of the volatility to make margin. I'm not looking to be in a long-term asset with major volatility. It's just not for me, but hey, I'm a wuss, right? I'm too conservative in my investing. I get it. If that's more your thing, then guess what? When you hit it right, you will absolutely crush me and my sealed product gains. I promise you, if you are, 80, 90% of the time right on the singles you choose, you're going to kill me. Your gains are going to kill me. You can make all kind of videos saying, I beat Nostalgianomics and investing. I'm the best. You are, right? But for me, it's just not worth the risk. I've seen too much crazy stuff happen with singles, and I would rather take my gains on singles and put it into something that's more stable, or put it into another play that hasn't ran yet. So that's what I do with my singles. So that's my answer there for everybody. If you're asking me what I would be doing with Mega Evolutions or Sun and Moon tag team cards or some of these vintage high flyers, things like that. Some things I'm still holding right now. I am still holding a lot of my alt arts. I have a lot of Evolution alt arts. Lugia's, Charizard V's, things like that. I'm holding. Obviously, I like the Crown Zenith Mewtwo. I'm not as much a fan of the gold cards. I'm not holding a lot of the gold cards, but I really like that Mewtwo, so I've really stocked up on the Mewtwo. And then when it comes to Scarlet Violet era, like I said, those are the things I'm putting money into now. The early Scarlet Violet era, the SV base through the Paldean Fates, that first 6 sets block. I'm looking for undervalued special illustration rares of some of the most popular cards in the set, the most popular Pokemon that were once a lot higher that I think can go there again. And I think the risk level, the current price points are just very low risk. So I'm moving into those. So that's kind of gives you an idea of what I see on the current market. Let's talk about the Prismatic Evolutions drop. I've probably got more messages about that than anything in the last day. And so everyone wants to hear my thoughts on that. I would definitely pick up Prismatic Evolutions if you get a chance to. Obviously at retail, but if you want the price point that I think things are going to, the market's a little weaker right now in the summer. And so we could see a larger drop than we did, during the last kind of drop when they did it at Costco. And so I think it could, I'm not saying it will, I think it could actually break 90, especially for a period of time. And so if you can find any of these ETBs, eBay TCG Player, under $90, in my opinion, it's a snap buy. If I can find them, I'm probably gonna be snap buying them. And then I think anywhere in that, I would say high 80s, anywhere in the 90s, I think that's a great time to pick up Prismatic Evolutions. No idea how far it's gonna drop. No idea how long it's gonna be down there, but I do believe it is gonna probably break $100 once again. And then you're gonna say, Alex, you were telling people to buy this at $100 to $120. I was, and I stand by it. You have no clue what the future holds. I would much rather have Prismatic Evolutions ETBs at $100, $110, $120 and not get things like this happen, and have them when they go to the moon, which everyone knows they're gonna be at the moon eventually in the future, then have no position and cross my fingers something like this happened. Now, we got lucky, something like this happened. So all I do now, I dollar cost average in. If I buy some at 100, 110, 120, I buy more at, 95, 90, 85. Guess what? It all dollar cost averaged out to maybe $195. And then I have, twice as many Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. And in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, when they're, $2, 3, 4, $500, you're not even going to care that, someone underpaid $5 or $10 or $15 less than you. So that's always been my take. But yes, I do think this is another great time to pick it up. I am going to also say, this is going to be the shill part of this video. Sorry, guys. I got to shill something. You know me. The fact that they're not going through distributors with any of these new releases of Prismatic Evolutions tells me we are going to have case premiums in the future on Prismatic Evolutions ETBs that are far greater than case premiums we've seen in the past. The reason for that is you are going to have so few Prismatic Evolutions ETB cases out there because all the ETBs are being thrown out in these types of Costco, Sam's Club products, where there are going to be no Prismatic Evolutions ETB cases except the original release. And a lot of that is already gone. It got ripped, all those things. And so if you have Prismatic Evolutions ETB cases, that's something I would hold on to. We already know case premiums in this hobby are a thing. And I think things like that, especially like the PC ETB cases, because they stopped selling, for U4, I think case premiums during this time when they're really giving a lack of cases, whether it be for ETBs, PC ETBs, I think it's going to be a bigger thing than the case premiums were for Sword and Shield because more cases were just out there. And so that's one thing I will say. I will shill a bit Prismatic Evolutions ETB cases in the future. I think they will have a very high multiple than the single ETBs. That's just my take. Last thing I want to talk about. Destin Rivals. $285 plus a box. For me, right? That's one of those sets that I'm okay missing out at that price. I'm just going to say it. I'm okay. I am personally not buying into positions of a set that's a few months old at $285. I just won't do it. I will put my money into graded card plays. I'll put it into 151. I'll even buy some of these Sword and Shield era products that are a little, dead right now. They're kind of going stagnant. I will buy, things like Paradox Rift booster boxes. I will buy, anything early Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield over Destin Rivals right now. It just doesn't make sense. I get it's going to be one of the best sets in this era. It's just with so much time left. I truly don't think if I had to place a bet, right, under or over, that if I think we will ever see a lower price on a Destin Rivals booster box than $285 in the next year and a half, 2 years, or we won't ever see it lower, I gotta bet on the under. I have to bet right now that at some point in the future, you're gonna find a price lower than $285. And also, that means that's money you don't have to lock up for that period of time. That's right. Alex just joined the I'm gonna wait crew. I'm gonna wait. And so I'm keeping the small amount of Destin Rivals that I have. By the way, that's another point I wanted to point out there. I'm not selling Scarlet Violet era. Not a bit. If you're asking me about, Alex, should I sell this? I'm not. I am not selling one piece of my Scarlet Violet era product. The reason is, I believe overall, you're going to be better off holding at the current price points than you are selling and crossing your fingers. You're going to be able to buy it all back cheaper. Are you going to find some cheaper? Absolutely. But I think it's going to be very few and far between. And for me, I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play the game of trying to guess which products are and aren't going to get reprinted. I don't want to sell Twilight Masquerade and being like, they're going to have to reprint Twilight. It's going to have to come down. And then it doesn't. They pull, one of the things they used to pull in the past with Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon XY. That's one of the sets that doesn't get a massive reprint or doesn't get a booster box reprint. And all of a sudden it's a $500 booster box. I don't want to play that game, right? Now, am I going to be super upset if they do reprint it and it drops down to, under $200 a box? No, not really. I mean, it's going to hurt for a minute, but I'd rather own it and chance that than dump it all and chance the fact that I'm never going to be able to buy it back again. Now, again, that's different than if you don't own it. If I don't already own it, I'm not buying Twilight Masquerade either. I'm not buying Twilight. I'm not buying Destin Rivals. I'm going to wait. Will I possibly be able to get in the future? I think so. If I can't, that's fine. I will buy more positions and other things that seem like a better deal. Meanwhile, Prismatic Evolutions, if you can find those ETBs on this drop, I think that is an infinitely better pickup than either one of those boxes at the current price points. That's just me. And so that's kind of my thoughts. Those are the major questions I've been getting asked on some of these really high dollar Scarlet Violet boxes, Prismatic Evolutions, single and slab plays. Those are kind of the main things I'm getting asked by like the majority of people. And those are kind of my takes on it, guys. I mean, overall, yeah, I think there's still a lot of great singles and slab plays out there. I believe in taking profits on my singles and slabs once they reach the profit margins I'm looking for. And so that's my take on those. So if I was holding vintage or megas or tag teams, I honestly would be starting to consider taking profits on those. And then putting it back into other slab plays or putting into sealed product. As far as the Prismatic Evolution is concerned, I'd be considering picking it up anything under $100. When it gets in the 90s, maybe it gets in the 80s, maybe not. If you can find it at retail, it's a snap buy. And then as far as Scarlet Violet Era, I'm not buying the top boxes at $285, $300, right? And I'm also holding everything that I have. And then if I had to put money somewhere, I'm looking at 151, looking at Prismatic, looking at some of the older boxes, maybe Paradox Rift, maybe Obsidian. If you want to go SV base, Paldea is the only one I'm kind of on the fence of. It's definitely very expensive, but it is also going out of print much quicker than Twilight or Darkness or Destined Rivals. So that's the only one I could almost make a case. If you don't have any and want some, it may be, smart to get at least some, because you don't want Paldea to be one of the top boxes in the whole era and not have any of it. So that's the only one I can kind of understand, because it's got such a smaller reprint window left. But everything else, guys, that's my take. That's how I approach the hobby. That's what I'm doing in the hobby right now. And again, feel free to disagree with me, right? Feel free to do your own thing. I'm just here as one guy online to give my take. And well, you clicked on the video, so obviously you wanted to hear my take. That's all it's out there for. So hope you enjoyed. That's all I got today. We're out.